Alright, I think I am live now. Let's see. Get this up and going. Let me know if you can hear me in here. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat, please. And thank you, and then we'll get this show started. Hello, test 1 2, test 1 2. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Get this going. Test 1 2. Check. We're gonna get this show started at 9 o'clock. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Comment if you can hear me. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. We're gonna start this in 1 minute. Got 2 people in here, looks like. Let me get this posted on my Instagram. right. Glad for all of you guys that showed out tonight. Get this show on the road. Let's get this little Zaytime Sports, and I'm discussing sports of the week for this last week and all the way up to today. This is Zaytime Sports. If you don't know me yet, go look it up and go look it up on Instagram, and you'll find the page, and it's a pretty good place to check it out. But last night we had the Elkton Elks. They played at Waubay. And the score was 59-8. They laid down a whopping 51-burger against Waubay, and the game was done halfway through the third quarter. I'm gonna go through a little bit between for the players' leading statistics. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. But we're gonna go with the offense side of the ball for the Elkton Elks. We'll start with the rushing yards. Colt Beck led the team in rushing yards as he broke off a couple big runs and a couple big runs that ended up in touchdowns. And so he ended the night with 158 yards, but he also ended the game halfway through the second quarter because they were up so big, letting the younger kids get in the game and getting them experience for the next few years as they're becoming to be able to get on the field and learn at a young age. That's good development, and might as well if you're going to put up 50 against another team. The second leading rusher was Caleb Larson with 87 total yards in the game. He was a good middle of the game running back. I think he's going to be a great second option off of Elliot Erickson. But last night Elliot Erickson only got 2 carries and he had 49 yards. So he's going to be up in yards. Hopefully next week we can see Elliot get more carries, and his stats are going to be a lot higher because they didn't really need to give him the ball much last night because Colt, whenever he optioned the ball off, then he just kept it himself and he took off and ran. But Elliott's going to get a lot more touches next week and in the future, and he'll have a lot of 100-yard games, I'm predicting. And Larson's going to be falling right behind Elliott for hopefully gives Elliott a little breather between plays in the middle of the drives when they're marching down the field again to the end zone. So, yeah, Elliott had 49 yards on 2 carries, which is kind of insane. Also, we had J.J. Bushman, who came in at the end of the game to finish off for the third string for the Elks. He had 43 rushing yards, and then Aiden Melcher got 1 touch and he had 7 yards. I believe it was like on a little jet sweep or end around or some little small play that they ran, probably just testing out for future games, see if it works and if they want to go back to it. And in total for the Elkton Elks, they had 344 rushing yards, whopping. And we're going to move to the passing yards for Elkton. Colt Beck, or the passing yards wasn't really that high because they didn't need a pass because they were scoring touchdowns left and right. The Waubay Summit looks like they're pretty young and they have potential in years to come, but they need to get a little more beef on them, and if they get a better line, then that might be a little better. But Elkton was able to just run all over them. They didn't really need to air the ball out. But Colt Beck had 45 passing yards. Then Brady came in for a little bit, and then for the second string, he had 35 passing yards, and Adam Kinner had 25 for the third string. So, yeah, all 3 quarterbacks could sling it. Adam's first year, he laid a good pass out, I think, to Eli Johnson. Rush was coming around him and stepped up in the pocket and threw a laser at Eli, and Eli caught it and got 25 yards on that. And then Brady threw a couple nice balls to wide receivers last night, and then obviously Colt can sling it the best out of them because he's most experienced and he's a senior and he's going to be able to put on a show this year and probably be all state, I would assume. And then for receiving, we had Caden Crawford, who had 43 yards on 3 catches. Berkeley Hammond, 27 yards. Miles Poindexter with 10 yard, and Eli Johnson had 25 yards. Like I said, they had 105 total receiving yards. So, yeah, they still got over 100 yards between all 3 quarterbacks. And, yeah, it was pretty nice. Colt Beck also put up 4 touchdowns last night, which was really nice. 3 rushing, 1 passing. And I believe Miles Poindexter caught a touchdown, and Caden Crawford caught another touchdown from, one was from Colt, and then the other one was from Brady. So those are your offensive stats. I said Miles scored a touchdown. Those are your offensive stats for the game. Now we're going to be moving over to the defense side of the ball, which I had some surprises, but always is good to have surprises because when you have surprises, that means they're going to be able to play well this year. So let's start at the defensive stats. We had Wyatt Oslin had 6 tackles. He came in for the second string linebackers, and he just tearing up left and right, just making a play. He was almost at every single pile, or he was getting solos. He had 2 solos and 4 assisted tackles, adding up to 6. Then we had Miles Poindexter and Colt Beck, both had 5 tackles. Miles had 2 solos and 3 assisted. Colt had 3 solos, 2 assisted tackles, and those were the highest leading tacklers. And then we had Elliott, Burke, and a few other people. David and Tate all had 3 total tackles. Elliott had 1 solo, 2 assisted. Burke had 3 assisted tackles, and then Tate had 1 solo, 2 assisted. David had 3 assisted tackles. Those are my rough stats because it's hard to get everybody down here, but I think I did a good job for the most part trying to keep an eye on everyone and get them down in the stat book. But younger kids came in. Second string players, honestly, they came in, did their job. They're all over. And then the third string, there was a few gaps, but then they finished off the game and ended up getting a stop to get the offense back on the field to finish out the game. That's what I'm going to go to. My next topic, or my next point, is all levels got it done for the Elkton Elks last night, from the first string who started the game to the third string who finished the game. Usually teams can't go in and 50 a team if they play all three strings, first, second, and third string. They can't go in 50 teams because the third string's just not experienced and they're not that good. But Elkton went in and they put a whopping 50 burger on them, and I was really, really happy to see what Haas has been building for this season at all 3 levels, that they're able to go out there and play like they've been on a field. Even if they're on third string, it's their first time. It's really cool to see. Next week, Elkton plays Viborg. Number 1 Elkton goes, or the number 4 Viborg Hurley comes to Elkton and plays on their home field next Friday at 7. So I hope to see you all there. If you can watch it online. It will be on live ticket, and I'll be calling the game. I'm pretty excited. Got the opportunity to be able to broadcast all the home games, so it's going to be very exciting. And I hope you guys enjoy enjoy it. But last night, Viborg won 50-0 against Canastota. So two teams that played the first week, they put 50 points on their teams, and they're going to be able to play each other next week to have a good tough matchup between a top five matchup, and they're going to be deep playoff teams, and potentially you could see at least one if not both teams in the state championship game maybe. The surprises of We're going to be moving on to the surprises of the night. Number 3 Parkson went down at home to Freeman Marion Academy. That was Freeman Marion Academy. That was a big surprise. Usually you don't see a number 3 seed go down, especially to an unranked team. They're going to be moving to 9A. The number 1 Howard goes down on the road at Alcester Hudson. That's very surprising because usually Howard's a powerhouse. They make state all the time. They can go and put 50 points on the team, but then they got upset last night. Week 1 must have been something going. I don't know if there was any injured players coming into the season that might have made that happen, but it's so surprising to see a 1 seed go down, especially this early in the season. But you would think most of the team's healthy. The number 3 Wolsey Wessington went down on the road at S-Line. That's also 9A. They lost to Wolsey. Wolsey lost to S-Line. That's very surprising. But also another road game. So those two were road games. You have to be able to play on the road if you want to be able to go to the Dome, because you never know. Seedings might just fall the wrong way, and you might have to go play a road semifinal game. You need to be prepared for that and be able to go win. Next thing is I'm going to be moving on to college football. There's a couple games on today. This won't be too long. There's brief talk about it. Next week there will be more college football stuff with more games coming in, but first week there's only like 10 games being played and like a couple big games being played. Iowa State played K-State at Dublin, Ireland. Iowa State went on to win that game 24-21. The first half it was absolutely sloppy. There was so much fumbles, but those fumbles are being caused. Those fumbles were being caused of the rain. It was raining. It looked like the whole game, and it was harder to pass. So, yeah, first punt of the game, the guy goes and absolutely muffs it, and Edwards never came back in the game for K-State. So, hopefully you can see him back on the field later in the season for K-State. But, yeah, K-State went on to lose that game. Yeah, you guys can type in questions in the chat, and then I'll get them after my sports talk of the week. Fresno State went to go play at Kansas. Kansas won that game 31-7. Jalen Daniels might be in his best year this year, as he's been dealing with injuries, and last year he looked like he was struggling trying to hit his wide receivers, but this year he came in the first week and was throwing dots left and right. And then his wide receiver Cam Pickett had a great game for KU. I think he had 2 touchdowns, 77 yards, and guy in defense was absolutely insane. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah, that's college football for the week. We'll have more next week. Then we're going to be moving on to NFL for this week. Top team coming into the season, I believe, is the Eagles, as they're coming off that Super Bowl win. They didn't lose many players. Their offense looks very strong. And then, my next point is can the Chiefs win the division again with the other teams in their division being able to build better around them? Like the Broncos, Bo Nix looked really good. Really good. Sorry, I can't get my thoughts straight right now. Bo Nix looked really good at the end of the season. And then Raiders, they they're an iffy team, but then Pete Carroll got the coaching job, and then it got Gino and Ashton Genty, so they could be that sleeper team, have a miracle, and they could be able to fight in that division. I don't think they'll win it, but they'll be able to put up a good fight. And then the Chargers also a good tough team to be able to win that division. But I think the Broncos can upset the Chiefs and win that division if Kansas isn't ready to come to play. But right now, Chiefs own that division. They be able to get the job done every year. It seems like they usually get the 1 seed, so gives them that bye, gives the players rested, and that's why they make the Super Bowl a lot of the time. My next topic is this Josh Allen's year, Lamar's or Patrick Mahomes' year in the AFC? Can Lamar or a guy like Josh Allen pass up Mahomes and be able to get to the Super Bowl for the AFC side? Because Mahomes has been able to do it 4 years now, and someone needs to be able to dethrone him. Are the Bengals still don't have a defense to help Burrow, as we've seen in preseason. That Burrow is just absolutely trying to carry the team. He played he played like 3 drives one time. He has no reason to play 3 drives when they're all depending on him because the defense looked ugly, ugly in preseason. They weren't able to get the job done, and I don't think the Bengals are going to be able to make the playoffs again this year unless the defense is a little better than that last year. But their defense was ugly last year. Well, Parsons, McLaurin, or Terry McLaurin, and Trey Hendrickson, they can't get a deal done right now because the coaches won't sign them. And Parsons right now doesn't look like he's going to be a Cowboy, as he came in the last preseason game eating some nachos, and then he was sleeping on the stretcher or the table where they do the medical injuries. So it doesn't look like Parsons wants to be a Cowboy, and I'm not for sure on Scary Terry or Trey Hendrickson, but the coaches aren't getting a deal done as they have all requested trade, and they still haven't got signed. And the season starts 2 weeks on September 4th, I believe. September 4th, September 7th. I think it's September 4th. And the fantasy leaders for the week, or the fantasy leaders for the year, is wide receiver, I believe. Jamar Chase, Jefferson, and St. Brown. They're going to be number one. And then running back Barkley, Henry, Bijan Robinson, and then Josh Jacobs. I think those are going to be the leaders for fantasy this year. And hopefully they stay healthy. If you guys got any questions, that's my sports topics of the week at Zaytime Sports. Go follow the page if you don't know about it. But yeah, that's the sports. That's the sports of the week. We're gonna go to the questions that got typed in the chat, and yeah, Eli Johnson did lay the stick on one of the plays. I can't remember. It might have been a kickoff, if I recall, but he came down and just absolutely chucked the guy, and yeah, it was a pretty good play. Thoughts when David got killed off a kickoff? He was going in to try to stop the guy, and he was already on the ground. He jumped. He tried to make a jump, but he got pushed. It was kind of funny, but you know, those plays are going to always happen every game. Teams got to get a laugh out of something once a week in the film room. You should go over the live game play-by-play on Huddle. We'll see on that. If you guys don't have any more questions, I want to tune out for the night. And we'll see you again next week, hopefully. Thanks for tuning in out at Zaytime Sports. Peace out.